goals, one of my projects is to work on my mind and on my body. I want to have better mental health. I want to have better physical health. Some of this is for vanity, but most of it's for my well-being. What I would like to do is to keep up a food journal and a mind slash activity journal. So one's about like what's going on inside my head and what I'm physically doing, and the other is about what I'm eating. And so I separated those because the food journal is a lot more detailed and a lot more to fill out. Whereas like I can just write down in my activity journal, like, oh yeah, I did my workout. I've got a workout journal where I write down like my actual exercises and my reps, and I don't know if I want to really get into that here. One of the reasons why I want to do it as a journal is because that was what my personal trainer told me to do a while ago, and it was really helpful because once I became more aware of what I was actually doing, what I was actually eating, then I knew that I needed to do more or that I needed to make a shift or a change. So this week's goal was just to get myself to write it down, not to change anything, not to make it look better than it was, not to try to improve, but just to get into the habit of recording it. So after I decided I was going to do that, then the question became, well, where am I going to record it? And I looked up a bunch of like food journaling apps and everything, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself with like counting calories, taking pictures, doing this, doing that. So I went onto Microsoft Word and they had this template. And the template was basically like for a schedule, but it was really for a kid. So if you look at it, it's meant to be like, oh, did you get a star for that day? And if you get so many stars, what's your reward? And I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't really thought about rewarding myself for doing the thing. I kind of felt like that doing it in itself was the reward, but maybe a reward could be good. I tend to use shame and guilt on myself a lot instead of like, oh, good job. And I don't know how productive or helpful or healthy that really is. You know, sometimes you do need someone to drill sergeant yell at you to get stuff done. And then other times when you use guilt and shame, you can kind of feel like just you can feel demoralized. Like, what's the point? Why should I even do this? Like, I missed one day, screw it. I don't need to do it at all. What I then needed to decide was what was my reward going to be, because I couldn't have it be something that negated what I just did. Like if I'm trying to eat better and do better mentally, I can't then like turn around and be like, all right, your reward is fancy food or something like that. And I don't want to build the association of like food equals reward. I think sometimes about people like Amberlynn Reid and why it is that certain things happen. And I was a little bit hesitant to even make this a series because of Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Beauty and those kinds of people, because when I look at commentary channels like Obese to Beast, My Thoughts Will Probably Offend You, or Jay Aubrey, or a lot of other great creators, there seems to be this consensus that her being on YouTube did not help her mental health and did not help her physical health, but she actually got worse. And I thought, well, if I share this stuff, am I going to get worse? But I'm not her. I sometimes watch stuff about her and it does inspire me to keep up and to keep doing like the things that really matter to me. And I think it's because I don't want to be like her. It is said that if you are reacting to something, that there's a reason. That if someone were to walk up to you and say, you're purple, that your reaction would just be to shrug them off because you know you're not purple. Well, why does Amberlynn Reid bother me? And I think she bothers me because I look at her and I see the potential to have those attributes myself. Some of the things that I enjoy doing, she enjoys doing. But it's not like this incredibly unique thing. Lots of people enjoy buying journals. Lots of people enjoy reading. You know, I am just now getting to where I'm doing any kind of vlogging at all. She vlogs. I think that what I'm afraid of is that this is all a sign that deep down I have those same bad qualities by doing these things. One thing that commentators do with Foodie Beauty is that they talk about the fact that she keeps wanting her audience to hold her accountable. And is my vlog series about you all holding me accountable for my journey? For me to say, oh, look, did I or did I not fill this out? Am I or am I not making progress? I don't want to have the audience be the ones that hold me accountable, because I need to hold me accountable, because once the camera's off, you aren't there. What I would like to think is that I'm using this more for journaling than to have an audience hold me accountable. As soon as you start discussing your issues with somebody, you invite their criticism. You invite their opinion. It's like the instant that you introduce someone you're dating to your friends, well, now you're having them sort of weigh in on what they think about this person. I found it really interesting that both Amberlynn Reid and Foodie Booty would lie to the camera. They would lie to their audience, but I also understand that I think what they placed on themselves was a lot of pressure to make their audience happy, or what they thought would make their audience happy. And I don't want to create that for myself either. I'm hoping that by journaling it, that I become more aware, because I say these things are important, but what am I actually doing about it? One thing is that after COVID and after so much other stuff that happened in my life, I became less social. So socializing is really important. And so right now I'm just going to kind of throw up my food journal list and talk a little bit about that. So here it is. And well, it's my food log, not my food journal. Maybe I should call it my food journal. But I wrote down what I was eating. And one of the reasons why my food journal matters to me is because I'm on a medication that can affect what I want to eat and how much I want to eat. It can cause headaches and nausea, which it also says then it can cause weight loss. Sometimes I feel like when I get like the little mild headaches that it sometimes gives me, that I interpret that as a hunger headache, and I'll try to eat to make it go away. So I haven't necessarily experienced weight loss or weight gain. I'm gonna have to weigh myself and then throw that in the video just so that we have a starting weight. And I've decided that I'm only gonna weigh myself once a week, and that's this day when I upload. That way I'm not freaking out and running to the scale every few minutes to be like, ooh, I lost half a pound. Well, you know, you just peed. That's not really losing half a pound. As I said before, one of the things I was trying to figure out was what I could reward myself with. And so I wrote down some rewards there, which I thought, well, like after a week, if I can do this log, I wanted to reward myself by being able to watch a movie. Rent a movie that I couldn't just watch for free. And so I thought maybe I'll watch the movie Nope on Amazon. Yay! I haven't gotten to see it yet. I like Jordan Peele's work. I enjoyed Get Out, but I've heard mixed reviews on this, so that kind of intrigues me even more. Some people say it's great, some people say it's this, and I don't know if it's that people went into it expecting the movie Get Out and they got something else, and maybe other people went in with a more open mind, so whatever he did, they were just gonna go with the flow with. So I thought, okay, that's a movie. I like movies. It's not me eating, that kind of stuff. Now we're gonna look at my activity log. And my goal was to try to do something in both of the little subcategories. So I've got blocks that are grayed out are for my mental health. So that would be socializing, and the other one's mind. And for mind, that would be things like journaling. That would be like talking to my therapist. And then for my body, I've got working out, which is where I'm following like this kind of workout schedule I've got. Obviously, I didn't do like a formal workout that week. I'll show the kind of list deal that I'm going through with that. And I really want to increase how much I'm working out. I feel like right now I get overwhelmed and then I don't make time for it. And one of the things that holds me back sometimes is I know when I haven't done squats in a really long time that I'm going to be sore for 2 days. And then when I look at my schedule of all the stuff I've got to do, I think I don't have time to be sore. You know, I got to knock out this, and this. So I need to push past it, because after that first workout, it's never as bad as the first workout. But there's also work. For work, that's if I'm doing any kind of job where I feel that I'll be physically active, like if I'm working for Habitat for Humanity and I'm doing stuff for houses, or if I'm working for the Veterans Club where I'm just like helping run food and clean the kitchen, that kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, you know, I wasn't just sitting on my butt all day. I was doing something then. Or if I'm doing trails, I like to hike trails. I like to go to parks. It's gotten a little cold, and so I haven't done as many lately, but that would be probably more in the workout section than the work. Also is projects. So like this channel is all about, I do a lot of different projects. Some are more physically demanding than others. Like going to the shed and building stuff is a lot more physically demanding than making a vlog. I'll still record that I did it, but it's not like something where I'm going to build a lot of muscle and become, you know, very fit from doing it. But it is me working on a project as opposed to just sitting in my own head doing nothing. And it helps me know, like, well, what is my activity? what took up so much time of that day. So what is the reward? I made the rewards for these separate so that if I failed one, I could essentially still succeed with the other. My brain has this habit of thinking that if I screw up a little bit or if I get something a little off or wrong, that just, it's all failed. It's all a failure. You could call it the F it button. I call it the F it button, but I'll definitely hit the F it button. And then all of a sudden I lose the motivation to continue because I no longer can get an A. I can no longer get a good score. Why would I continue on to get a C? You know, I just want to erase it all and hit the reset button. I thought what would be helpful is if I had these separate, if something happened with one, I wouldn't lose motivation to work with the other. Again, I was stuck at this problem of, well, what's a good reward for me for doing this? And the only thing that I could think of was that I do like to play video games, but I usually give myself a lot of guilt for it. I feel bad. I feel like I should be doing something more productive. I shouldn't be sitting on my bottom. And so my reward there is getting to play a video game for 4 hours with no guilt. And the video game right now that I'm really into is The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. I've been wanting to play that game. I bought it even before the Netflix series came out, and I just never made time. And lately I've been making time to just have fun. That's the joy of a video game to me, is like I'm not focused on trying to make a product. I'm not focused on trying to make money. The only thing that a video game's supposed to do is be fun. And sometimes I think we all need that. Right now, my character is level 20 and we went to Cure More. And we've got Uma, the ugly human that we're trying to lift the spell from, if you're just curious about where I was in The Witcher and what my level was. Now you can also see that I made goals for like 2 weeks and 3 weeks. To be honest, over the past week, the reward for my food journal changed. Originally, I was going to watch Nope, but I think I'm gonna have to push that back because there was something else that I wanted but didn't necessarily need, and that's the Roku device for my TV. The remote got chewed up by my ex-roommate's dog. What I was using instead was the Roku app as my remote, which works, but if you have somebody over at your house or anything like that, then you're constantly having to switch back to the app or handing your phone to them or having them download the app to then use the TV, and I didn't really like it. What I did was order a new Roku remote, and that is my reward because I did vlog every day. I was a little bit behind on Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday were really hectic days because Friday was all the preparation to do the art festival that I worked on Saturday. Saturday was doing the festival and then breaking down. I did still take notes in my phone. That's where I'm at right now. I want to continue to work on my mental health. My biggest goal is that I feel like I'm really up and down. I feel that I go through about like 2 weeks where I'm really productive, really happy, and then it seems like maybe 2.5, 3 weeks later, I go through this downswing where I feel like everything I do is pointless and why should I bother and what, who's gonna even care? Like I can sit here and think, well, I've got my art channel and that's got over 400 subscribers, I'm piddling away there, I'm getting views. But then over here for my vlog, it's like, well, what's the point? You don't have any subscribers. Well, subscribers start somewhere. Everything starts somewhere. And everybody says the same thing. If you keep making content consistently, it'll pay off. But I can get that voice inside my head that belittles my efforts and says, well, you learn how to fix your little upload stuff, but nobody's even but you don't have a consistent viewership. So what is the point of what you're doing? You're just wasting your time. You're so silly. And I have to fight that voice, and I've not always been successful. And that's the goal behind my mental health. I'm hoping that through my journaling and through my therapy and through socializing, and that I can stay in a positive route and not fall into this funk where I just don't feel that I should do anything. I'm a creative person. That's my happy place, but there's this moment in me all the time that just convinces me not to do things. And then I feel shame for not doing it. And then that gets momentum. And pretty soon, all I want to do is just be this little ball in the bed sheets. And then for whatever reason, at some point, the sun comes out and I have this energy again. And now I'm back to making things. And I know that this sounds a little bipolar or it sounds manic depressive. And the only reason I don't feel that it's bipolar or manic depressive is because when I listen to people who are bipolar or manic depressive, their ups are way more up and their downs are way more down. But also, this isn't how I always was. Like, I was much more consistent in the past. I feel like a lot of the things I've gone through the past couple years has caused me to get a much more polarized personality, where because I had some failures, I think when I start to see failure that that's going to happen and it gets me down. And my body, with its best intentions, is just trying to protect me by having me do nothing. You can't fail if you don't do it, right? And that's ultimately not something that makes me happy. But on the flip side, I can't have this overabundance of energy that guilts me out of playing video games and makes me feel bad for taking time to journal, and it's just go, 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 make, do. And I want the two of these attitudes to blend better, be more harmonious, be more consistent the way I used to be, because I was happier then with that. Obviously, I need to change something about what I was doing in the past, because if the person who I was so great, I wouldn't have become the person I am now. I am smart enough to know that I need to take my medicine, but I can sometimes be that person that as soon as I start to feel better, I quit taking my medicine. I know that journaling makes me feel better. I need to keep doing it. I know working out, mind, body, spirit, makes me feel better. I need to keep doing it. I know that creating things and making things makes me feel better. I need to keep doing it. So those are some of my goals. This is kind of like a bit of a ramble. I don't know if I quite hit the spot. I've got a lot of things I got to do today. This Friday, Saturday is the art festival where I'll be selling my soaps for the first time. So I'm trying to make my soaps. I'm trying to make displays because I also need to send her a photograph of the displays. My mind's a little bit there today instead of on this. But I thought that on Sundays I could upload, because that would be when I completed my little Microsoft Word chart and could talk about it. I got it done. Check mark. Got my Roku remote ordered. Yay! Maybe next time I'll reward myself with a movie or whatever. I'll update y'all on that. I hope that you're preparing for a good week going forward. I know it's Sunday. Sometimes Mondays are the pits, but I hope that you're preparing for it. I'm going to be working my butt off trying to get ready for this festival. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and watch my other videos.